Hi guys, something quite different this week. Well, it's Talyllyn 009, but it's 3D printed. This is the Talyllyn goods van by Small Loco Works. This is how it looks straight out of the packaging. There is literally nothing to build. It's got beautiful detail, and being a print, it hasn't even got join marks between the sides and ends. The other thing to note here is how smooth it looks. I'm actually not going to prep it in any way before painting, as it looks as if it's good to go. If you're familiar with 3D printing, you'll notice this isn't from Shapeways, but a resin print that Killian has done himself, but more on that later. So the first thing I need to do is attach the cotton bud so I have something to hold on to whilst I paint it. It gets a few light blasts of grey primer. You could technically use this as the body colour, as the Talyllyn used grey for their goods, but I'm stripping it back to wood. The primer is starting to really show all the detail on this print. Lovely. I'll mask the roof as it's metal, so it'll be treated differently to the body, which gets sprayed in, you guessed it, miniature paints number 82 Earth Brown. When it's dry, I dry brush light antique white on, which ages the wood. This is slowly built up to keep the paint dry. Wet, heavy paint won't give the same effect. This process really brings the wood to life, and it shows how flat the model would be if it wasn't done. The roof masking can now be removed. I paint the metalwork with black. While some of the parts to be painted, such as the body corner brackets, are quite large, I tend to use smaller brushes. I have shaky hands, I don't really trust what they're going to do. So this minimises the risk of going onto the wood. So, Small Loco Works. If you're a railway modeller, you've probably heard of them. Their Shapeways shop is loaded with beautifully detailed models in a number of scales and gauges. Obviously we're looking at 009 here. The Dinorwick quarry coach is lovely. But what I have my eye on is the Festiniog spooner boat. What a fun model. I really feel like a cob layout's needed for this. Small Loco Works are also on Facebook and post their new designs there. I suggest sending Killian a private message if you would like a model printed, as now he can do it himself. It's not only cheaper than Shapeways but also much higher quality. Back to the van, and it's time for the weekly black paint bath. You can see how quick I put this on, as I don't want anything to dry before I wash it off again. So the model's dried off and I've repainted the metalwork where it washed off. You can see the weathering is too heavy on the frames, it just looks black. One benefit of using acrylic is that you can go back even days later and adjust it by painting it with water. So I do this to remove some of the black. Onto the roof, and the metal strips are masked off, so I can paint them black. Without masking, this would be a wobbly edge, which I hate. This is Tamiya modeling masking tape. Don't use decorator's tape or anything cheap. Modelling tape is designed specifically to cope with our painting styles without harming the model. I paint them using miniature paints black, which sticks a bit better to the prime base. There is a central strip, but I found reference photos where this doesn't appear to be black, so that's what we're going with here. I can now remove the masking tape and weather the roof. Being metal, I'm aiming for a lightly rusted surface, so I mix Ammo's track rust pigment with a few drops of water and paint the roof with it. Not being too careful as it's about to come off again. This mix actually stains the roof, taking the edge off the clean primer. So like the black wash on the body, I use water to start cleaning the roof. The rust will settle around raised details, which gives a nice effect. The raised rivets are now painted with light antique white to highlight them. This is actually a wargaming technique. Railway modellers tend to use rust, but I like the result and it gives a sharpness to the model. And we're all modellers, so why not learn from other styles and mix it up a bit? I actually watch more war modellers on YouTube than railway modellers. Not that they're better. I just find they have higher detail due to modelling smaller areas than railway modellers. As a tradition, I've forgotten the number decal before the weathering, so I'll add it now. Being water slide, you can adjust it with water. As it's a 3D print, you'll need to provide the wheel sets. For 009, I use 8-spoke wagon wheels for N-Gauge by Graham Farish. The Talyllyn use curly spoke, but this is close enough. These can be popped into the axle boxes and it's ready to go. So that's it. I'm not going to call it a build this time, as I didn't actually build anything. I'm just so impressed with Killian's work on this model. The detail's perfect. It doesn't even need prep work like most 3D prints do, so top marks for that. So make sure you leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Things step up again next week as I get stuck into the locomotive destined to pull all of these models. Cheers.